I don't see anybody politicising this. I see a tragedy, and I think everybody across the political spectrum, I hope, wants to see his killers serve their sentence.
So when you heard that two of his killers were or might be eligible for early release, what did you think?
Well, it was shock when I heard the news last night, quite frankly, and I can only imagine what the family were going through. We know, I've been well aware of the challenges that the Sentencing Act would bring, but the government certainly said during the passing of that legislation that they were seeking to prevent these most egregious cases from happening. And actually what we see is time and time again, we see these problematic cases coming through. And that's why I think it's quite right that we have a fundamental look again at what is a very fresh piece of legislation, but we can already see the ill effects.
This is a former colleague of yours.
He was a much-loved member of Thames Valley Police, and I've met many times with his widow. Organisationally, across the whole policing family, people still feel this as an incredibly raw event. We had a memorial service recently to unveil a memorial in Reading to Andrew Harper, but it's not just within policing. I think across our communities in Thames Valley, people really felt this incident. They felt the impact of a brave police officer going out to do his duty, dealing with a reported burglary, and then paying the ultimate price for it. That's why I think it's right that the law was changed, and the public would expect the government to take action and change the legislation.
It is an appalling story, absolutely shocking. I wonder whether some people watching will worry that the Conservatives, you're a Conservative yourself, are politicising this terrible personal tragedy for their own ends. What do you say to that, given when you look at the crisis that the incoming government in 2024 had to deal with? Some of that, a great part of that was because the Tories had been in power for 14 years and they hadn't built enough jail places. Do you accept that?
I've always been really clear. I think governments of all parties have failed to invest enough in our prison system. Frankly, it's not something that the public are ever interested in until there is a crisis. Putting millions of pounds into prison building is never an election-winning strategy, and undoubtedly previous governments have failed, and this government need to redouble their efforts if they want to get us out of this. But the solution cannot be to let dangerous people back out onto our streets, which is going to put the public at risk now. And I've worked with Lizzie and her family as part of that process to get Harper's Law in place. I don't see anybody politicising this. I see a tragedy, and I think everybody across the political spectrum, I hope, wants to see his killers serve their sentence.